one of the real endorsements I would give to Martyn Gerrard was that when we bought this house, it's a very sought after thing to buy a house in Mill Hill in a really nice road that has the potential for restructuring and redevelopment and redesign and improvement in value and all those things. They don't come on the market very often. So we were really wanting, putting all our energy into securing the house, and it was extremely competitive because, like I say, those properties don't come around very often. And I felt that Martyn Gerrard did an excellent job of holding our hand and helping us as buyers while still representing the seller, which is obviously the core job that they have to do. And that was actually the reason why when it came to selling our house, obviously in Mill Hill there's however many estate agents, and we'd used a different estate agent for purchasing the house, so they were always in contact with us. But the reason we also sold our house through Martyn Gerrard as well as buying this one was that I felt that they struck that balance really nicely of representing the seller, which is their core job, but still doing, having a nice relationship with the buyer and trying to, hold the buyer's hand, especially in a situation where the emotions are quite high, because it's quite a rare property, and probably we weren't the only ones whose hand they were having to hold. So I felt they did a really good job of that. When it comes to buying or selling a property, the real qualities I'm looking for from an estate agent, I guess similar to most professionals in other industries, I'm looking for someone trustworthy, where I feel I'm getting reasonable value for money relative to the rest of the market, and I'm looking for someone knowledgeable, someone who understands the process, can hold our hand through the process, and will deal with us in a good way. So I'm just trying to remember what I said, but I think trustworthiness, fair value, and knowledgeable, and I suppose relates with people well. And I felt very much actually that with the purchase of this house, which, as I say, was a really not straightforward, or it's quite rare, this kind of a property. So you need those qualities even more. And I felt like Greg and the team at Martyn Gerrard really lived up to those qualities, which is why we also sold our house through Greg and the team as well. In terms of trust for Martyn Gerrard, I'd never dealt with them before. And estate agents, like other people in the sales industry, come with a certain reputation. So actually, I always had that feeling during the process of doubt. Can I trust them? Can I not? But that wasn't to do with how Greg and the team were behaving. That's more to do with the fact that I didn't yet have a relationship with them and the reputation that estate agents come with generally. But the reason I did sell my house through them after we bought through them was that they proved their trustworthiness. What was good about Martyn Gerrard was I felt like they responded to our, we asked, whenever we asked for an update or more information, they were very forthcoming. They were very available to talk. I spoke to Greg a couple of times, very late in the evening, very extremely antisocial hours, when we were nervous about something to do with the house buying process. So I felt that Greg and the team were available to communicate as per the client's needs, which I think is probably the best way to be as an estate agent. I think in terms of what would separate Martyn Gerrard from other agents, I'm not super experienced in buying and selling homes, but I would say the two standout things in that hold with me were, number one, that willingness to communicate when needed with quite a nervous buyer where we felt the stakes were quite high. The willingness to take a call at 11 o'clock in the evening to the buyer, not the seller who they're representing. That's that for me speaks very well for Greg and the team. And then also it's as I say, when the stakes are quite high and it's an unusual property, finding the balance between seller and buyer, I think must be quite difficult. And I thought they did a really excellent job of that in terms of us buying this house. And the reason why I'm doing this testimonial, I wouldn't, it's not something I would do every day of the week. Quite a busy chap. It is that we've ended up in the dream home that we were looking for. Very, very unusual to find this kind of property, but it's exactly what we were looking for. And whilst that's not entirely just down to Greg and the team, they played their part in making that happen by dealing with us in a straightforward and trustworthy way, and then obviously from a financial point of view, they also helped us with the selling process, and we're very happy in this new home, and they played an important role in that journey. So having gone through both a buying process and a selling process of Martyn Gerrard, I would be comfortable to recommend them to friends and family. I think when it comes to personal recommendations, I'm always a little cautious, because you never know exactly what experience someone else will have. It's the same now with our builders. I'm very happy with our builders, and I will recommend them too, but I would always, each person has their own experience. But in terms of the way they dealt with us, it was we got the house that we wanted, and they held our hands through the process, and we got the asking price we were looking for the house we sold. So ultimately, and we felt like we had a good relationship through both those processes. So ultimately, what more can a person be looking for from their estate agent?